You have a dream. Maybe it's small, maybe it's big. You think about it often. It lives in your mind like a beautiful picture, perfect, exciting, full of hope. But here's the truth. No matter how beautiful it is, no matter how strong your desire feels, it means nothing if you don't take action. Because ideas are not magic. Ideas without action are just quiet wishes floating in the air, going nowhere. Let me ask you this. Have you ever told yourself, one day I will? I will learn English. I will start my own business. I will write that book. I will wake up early and change my life. You say it and you believe it in the moment. But then a day passes, then a week, then a year. And one day, you wake up and realize, I'm still only thinking, I haven't moved. It's like standing in front of a beautiful car. The engine is full, the keys are in your hand, but you never turn it on. You keep thinking, should I drive now? What if the road is hard? What if I get lost? And because of all these thoughts, the car never moves. The same happens with your dreams. You already have the key. The question is, will you turn it? Think about this. The people who change their lives, they are not always the smartest. They are not always the best prepared. They are simply the ones who begin. While others are still thinking, still planning, still hesitating, these people take one step forward. And that step makes all the difference. You don't need to see the full path. You only need to take the first step. That's how progress begins. That's how confidence is built. Action brings clarity. Thinking too much brings confusion. Imagine someone wants to learn to swim. He stands at the edge of the pool, thinking. He watches videos, reads books, asks people for tips, but he never jumps in. Will he ever learn? No, because swimming is not in the books. It's in the water. And life is the same. You cannot live it from the edge. You have to jump in. Even if you fail, even if you feel lost, you're moving, you're learning. You're getting closer. The worst place to be is still thinking, still doubting, still afraid. You may ask, but what if I'm not ready? Let me tell you something powerful. Nobody ever feels completely ready. Nobody ever knows everything before they begin. We grow as we move. We learn as we try. Confidence doesn't come before action. It comes because of action. So here's your reminder today. Stop waiting for the perfect time. Stop planning forever. Stop hiding behind fear. Stand up. Take one small step. Write one sentence. Speak one word. Try one new thing. Because that small move is the door to a new life. Don't let fear be louder than your dream. The truth is, nothing, absolutely nothing, becomes real until you begin. So begin. Start badly, start unsure, but start, because your dream is not waiting, and neither should you. Have you ever sat for hours just thinking about something you want to do? You go over it again and again in your mind. You imagine every detail. You imagine the success and then the failure. You imagine people laughing. You imagine what could go wrong. So you tell yourself, I need to think more. I need to be sure. And while you think, days pass, weeks pass, but nothing changes. Why? Because thinking doesn't create clarity. Action does. Let me tell you a secret. Your mind loves comfort. And thinking feels safe. It feels like you're doing something, but you're not. You're standing still, wearing the mask of progress. Thinking too much is like standing in front of a mirror and asking the reflection to move first. It never will. You must move first. When you start to act, even in a small way, things begin to change. Your brain stops guessing and starts learning. Suddenly, the fog begins to clear. You begin to see, not in theory, not in imagination, but in real lived experience. Let's say you want to start making videos in English. You spend hours thinking, what should I say? What if my accent isn't good? What if no one watches? But then one day you record a short video. You post it. And guess what? Now you're not wondering. You know how it feels. You see what works? Maybe it's not perfect, but now you have real answers. Because you did something. Clarity lives on the other side of movement. It's like driving a car through fog. You can't see the whole road. But the more you move forward, the more the road appears. That's how life works. That's how purpose works. You don't find it by waiting. You find it by doing. Think of every successful person you admire. Do you think they had all the answers when they started? No. They had questions too. They had fear. But they moved anyway. And every step they took made the picture clearer. Here's another truth. Thinking too much can become a trap. It creates fear that doesn't even exist yet, like worrying about waves before you ever reach the sea. Your mind says, what if? But action says, let's find out. So next time you feel stuck, ask yourself this. What is one small thing I can do right now? Not a perfect thing, not a big thing, just one small thing. Because small actions create movement, and movement creates direction, and direction creates clarity. Don't try to control the whole path. Just trust the next step. And remember, even a step in the wrong direction teaches you more than 1,000 hours of sitting still. So today, stop thinking so much. Start doing. Say the sentence. Write the email. Take the walk. Record the video. Make the call. Action will always tell you more than fear ever will. Because once again, nothing is possible until you begin. Fear is strange. It feels so real, like a wall standing in your way. It whispers in your mind, telling you, don't try, don't speak, you'll fail, you'll look foolish. And if you listen too long, you believe it. You freeze. You stop before you even begin. But here's something powerful. Fear is loudest before action and quietest after it. Let me tell you a simple truth. Most of the things you're afraid of are not real. They're just shadows in your mind, and shadows disappear in the light of action. Imagine this. You're standing at the edge of a stage. You've never spoken in public. Your hands are shaking. Your heart is racing. You want to run away, but then you take a breath. You walk onto the stage. You say your first sentence. People look at you and they don't laugh. They listen. They nod. You keep talking, and suddenly, the fear that felt so big becomes smaller. Why? Because you moved. You didn't run. You didn't hide. You took action, and fear couldn't follow. That's the magic. Fear needs you to stand still. It needs you to stay silent. The moment you move, fear loses its power. It's like walking into a dark room. From outside, it looks scary. But once you step in and turn on the light, you see there's nothing there. Just silence, just space. Nothing to be afraid of. Action is that light. Think of the first time a child tries to ride a bike. They're scared. What if I fall? What if I get hurt? But once they start pedaling, once they feel the wind, they laugh. They realize the fear was only at the beginning. Movement replaces fear with joy. Now think about your own life. How many things have you delayed because of fear? Speaking in English? Starting a business? Sharing your ideas? And yet once you finally tried, was the fear still there? Or did it shrink? Every step you take makes you braver. Every action you choose is a message to your brain. I am stronger than my fear. You don't need to feel brave to act. You just need to act, and then you become brave. So next time fear tries to stop you, say this. I hear you, but I'm moving anyway. I see you, but I'm walking through you. Because the truth is, fear is not the enemy. Inaction is. You don't defeat fear by fighting it in your mind. You defeat it by stepping forward. Even if your voice shakes, even if your hands tremble, just move. Say the first word, take the first step, begin. And you'll see, the fear you thought was a monster was just a shadow waiting for your light. Once again, remember, nothing is possible until you begin. We live in a world full of thinkers, people with big dreams, bright ideas, perfect plans. They read, they research, they talk, and they wait. Always waiting for the right time, like the right feeling, the right moment. But here's the hard truth. The thinker can be brilliant, but the doer is the one who changes everything. Let's imagine two people. Both want to start a YouTube channel. Person A spends months watching tutorials. They study lighting, sound, SEO. They write pages of notes, but they never post anything. Person B? She knows very little. She's nervous. But she records one simple video on her phone and uploads it. The video isn't perfect, but it's real. And while person A is still thinking, person B is already learning, growing, improving. One action beats 1,000 ideas. Why? Because life rewards movement, not potential. Thinking can make you feel smart, but action makes you become smart. This happens in every area of life. Want to learn English? You can study grammar books for years. But if you don't open your mouth and speak, that knowledge will stay stuck in your head. The one who dares to speak broken English will become fluent faster than the one who waits to be perfect. Want to get in shape? You don't need a gym membership, fancy shoes, or the perfect diet plan. You need to get up, go outside, and move. That's it. Start walking, start stretching. Start with one push-up. 1 is more than 0. Movement is magic. The difference between the dreamer and the achiever? Just one thing, doing. The world is full of people with great intentions. But the people we admire, the writers, the athletes, the business owners, the artists, they were not always the most talented. They were simply the ones who did the work. They failed, yes, but they kept showing up. It's like a race. You might start slow, you might trip, but at least you're in the race. The thinker is still at the starting line, imagining what it would feel like to run. Here's something powerful. You can think yourself into fear, but you can never do your way into regret. Even if it goes wrong, at least you tried. At least you lived. So today, if you're stuck between thinking and doing, choose doing. Make that call. Start that sketch. Speak that sentence. Try the thing you've been afraid to try. Because every minute spent thinking about it is a minute you could be building it. And when you look back at your life, it won't be the things you tried and failed that haunt you. It'll be the things you never began. Once again, say it with me. Nothing is possible until you begin. We often imagine change as something big, a big decision, a big success, a big moment that turns everything around. But real change doesn't begin with something big. It begins with something small, tiny steps, quiet choices, daily effort. That's how mountains are moved, one pebble at a time. Think about water. It's soft, gentle, and slow, but it shapes rocks. It carves rivers. It creates valleys. Not in a day, not in a month, but drop by drop. That's the power of small, steady action. You don't need to change everything today. You only need to change one thing and repeat it tomorrow. Let's say you want to learn English. Maybe you feel it's too late. Maybe you feel overwhelmed, but ask yourself, can you learn one new word today? Just one. Can you say one simple sentence out loud? Of course you can. And if you do it again tomorrow and the next day and the next, in 1 month, you'll have 30 new words. In 1 year, you'll have a voice that feels more confident. That's how fluency begins. Not with speed, but with rhythm. Think of it like planting a seed. You don't see the tree the next morning, But you water it anyway. You give it light, you give it care. And one day, quietly, it breaks the ground. It grows strong, it gives shade. And it all started with a hand, some soil, and one small seed. You see, the biggest mistake we make is waiting to feel ready for big steps. But the truth is, big changes never come from big steps. They come from small steps done again and again. Want to write a book? Write one paragraph today. Want to start a business? Talk to one person today. Want to be healthy? Drink one glass of water instead of soda today. Want to change your mindset? Replace one negative thought with a positive one today. One action, no matter how small, creates movement, and movement creates momentum. You may feel your step is too small to matter, but remember, a river starts as a drop. A journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step. A new life begins with a decision. I'm not waiting anymore. Here's a thought that can change everything. If you repeat one small habit for 365 days, you will not be the same person 1 year from now. So don't underestimate today. Don't ignore the little actions. Don't tell yourself it's not enough. Because enough is not measured by size. It's measured by direction. Start where you are. Use what you have. Do what you can. And keep doing it. Every small step you take today is a brick in the foundation of your future. So once again, remember, nothing is possible until you begin. Perfection is a beautiful idea, but a dangerous goal. It whispers, wait until you're ready. Wait until it's flawless. Wait until it feels perfect. But perfection is not your friend. It's the voice that delays your dreams. The truth is simple and powerful. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to make progress. Let me tell you a secret. No one starts perfect. Not the writer you admire, not the speaker who inspires you, not the artist, not the business leader, not the language learner. Every one of them began with mistakes, with nervous hands, with shaky voices, with messy first tries. But they started, and that's why they grew. Perfection is like a moving target. You think you're close, but it always shifts. It keeps you frozen. It makes you say, I'm not good enough yet, when really, you're just not brave enough yet to begin. Now think of progress. Progress doesn't care if your work is messy. Progress doesn't judge your accent, your grammar, your small steps. Progress just wants you to keep going. Imagine two people learning English. One waits for the perfect method, the perfect time, the perfect confidence. They study but don't speak. They prepare but don't practice. The other one? They start talking, even if they make mistakes. They read aloud every day. They record their voice. They laugh at their errors but keep speaking. Who do you think will improve faster? Not the one chasing perfection, but the one chasing progress. Think of it like climbing a mountain. If you stop every minute to check if your step is perfect, you'll never reach the top. But if you keep walking, even slowly, you will rise. You will grow stronger. And you will look back one day and say, wow, I came so far. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to feel awkward. That's not failure. That's the sound of progress. Every mistake you make is a teacher. Every stumble is a sign that you are moving. Perfection stands still. Progress moves forward. Here's something powerful to remember. People don't connect with your perfection. They connect with your courage. When you show up as you are, with honesty and effort, you inspire others to do the same. So let go of the idea that you need to be perfect before you start. Start small. Start shaky. Start unsure. But start, because the path to greatness is not clean. It's messy, and that's what makes it beautiful. Progress doesn't mean you do everything right. It means you're a little better than yesterday. It means you showed up even when you didn't feel like it. It means you kept your promise to your future self. So today, don't aim for perfect, aim for done, aim for forward. Because progress is what builds your strength, and perfection is what steals your time. Say it again, nothing is possible until you begin. Most people are waiting for the right time, waiting to feel more confident, waiting to know more, be more, do more. But let me tell you something that might surprise you. You'll never feel completely ready. And you don't have to, because readiness is not a feeling. It's a result of taking the first step. Think about any big moment in your life. Was it ever perfect? Were you fully prepared before your first job? Did you know everything before your first presentation? Were you 100% sure before you moved, applied, said yes? Probably not. But you still did it, and that's how you grew. We often think confidence comes before action, but it's the opposite. Action creates confidence. It's like standing at the edge of a cold pool. You'll never feel ready to jump. You just have to breathe and leap. And the moment you're in, your body adjusts. Your fear turns into energy. You realize you can handle it. Waiting to feel ready is like waiting for the sun to rise at midnight. It won't happen. And if you keep waiting, your dreams will sleep forever. Let me share a story. There was a woman who wanted to start a podcast. She told herself, I'll do it when I have the perfect mic, the perfect topic, the perfect voice. Months passed. She waited. Then one day, she recorded one short message using her phone. No script, no editing, just honesty. She uploaded it. Only 10 people listened, but one person messaged her, "Thank you, I needed this today." And that message changed everything. She didn't wait to be ready. She just began. And because of that, her journey started. You see, life doesn't wait. Opportunities don't wait. Time doesn't wait. And neither should you. The first step will always feel scary. That's normal. That means it matters. But the longer you wait, the heavier your fear becomes. The louder your doubts get. But when you move, even a little, something shifts. Your brain starts working differently. You're not a dreamer anymore, you're a doer. You stop asking, "Can I?" and start proving, "I can." Remember, the first step is not supposed to be perfect. It's supposed to be real. It's supposed to be brave. It's supposed to be yours. So whatever you're holding back, a message you want to send, a video you want to make, a goal you've been hiding in your heart, begin now. Not tomorrow, not next week, now. Even if you whisper, even if you shake, even if your hands are unsure. Because courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is taking one small step while feeling the fear. And when you do that, you'll look back one day and say, "I'm so glad I didn't wait for perfect. I just began." Say it with me, nothing is possible until you begin. We all do it. We say, I should have started last year. I wish I began earlier. I'm too late now. But here's the truth. You can't go back and plant the seed yesterday. You can only plant it today. And that's enough. Because now is still powerful. Yes, yesterday would have been great. A year ago would have been smart. But thinking about lost time only steals more of your time. The best time to start was then. The second best time is now. Don't let your past stop your future. Don't punish yourself for waiting. Forgive the delay. Use the moment you do have, this one, right here. Think about someone who starts running at 40, someone who begins learning English at 55, someone who opens a small shop at 60. The world may say it's too late, but they don't care because they've realized it's not about when you start, it's about that you start at all. You are not too old. You are not too late. You are not behind. You're simply starting now, and that is already a victory. There's a saying, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. Why? Because today is still full of life, still full of power, still full of possibility. So what if someone else started before you? So what if they're ahead? You are not in a race with them. You are walking your own road at your own pace. Imagine a runner who stands frozen at the starting line thinking, I should have run last week. While they stand still, the race continues, but not because they're too late, because they're still not moving. The moment they take a step, they're in. They're back in the story. Today might feel small, but today is everything. Today is where habits begin. Today is where courage returns. Today is where you stop wishing and start building. So whatever it is, write one sentence, learn one phrase, record 1 minute, say one word out loud. Take the first small step you've been putting off. You are not late. You are right on time because you're still here and you still can. And that's what matters most. Say it with me again. Nothing is possible until you begin. We're all afraid of failure, of making a mistake, of doing something and watching it go wrong. But here's something no one tells you. Failure is not the real enemy. Inaction is. Trying and failing, that's human. That's learning. That's growth. But never trying? That's the one thing that guarantees you'll stay in the same place forever. Failure teaches you something. It gives you experience, lessons, clarity. But inaction gives you nothing. No stories, no steps forward, no progress. Just a quiet, uncomfortable question. What if I had tried? Imagine two people. The first one tries to start a business. It doesn't work. She learns. She tries again. Slowly, she builds something real. The second one waits. He thinks, dreams, plans, but never begins. 10 years pass. The idea is still in his head, but never in his hands. Now ask yourself, which person failed? You see, we think failure is falling down, but it's not. Failure is standing still. It's saying, maybe tomorrow. It's letting fear talk louder than your courage. It's choosing comfort over growth. Let me be honest with you. You will make mistakes. You will fall sometimes. You will say the wrong word, choose the wrong path, forget the right step. But you'll also learn how to get back up. You'll learn how strong you really are. People who succeed in life, they're not the ones who never failed. They're the ones who failed and failed again, but kept moving. Think of a child learning to walk. They fall, they wobble, they cry. But no one calls them a failure because falling is part of walking. So why do we expect perfection from ourselves as adults? Every expert was once a beginner. Every strong speaker was once silent. Every brave person was once afraid, but they moved anyway. So if you're afraid of failing, that's okay. But don't let it stop you. Be more afraid of doing nothing, because the longer you wait, the more life you miss. The more you hesitate, the more courage you lose. If you try and fail, at least you know, at least you grow, at least you lived. But if you never try, you'll always wonder, what could have happened if I had just begun? So today, remember, trying is brave, moving is powerful, and not doing, that's the only thing that truly holds you back. Say it with me. Nothing is possible until you begin. You have a dream, a goal, a vision of who you want to become. Maybe it feels far away. Maybe it feels impossible. Maybe it feels like you'll never get there. But here's the truth, the final truth. You cannot finish what you never start. No book was ever written without a first sentence. No journey was ever completed without a first step. No change ever happened without a first moment of courage. You might be waiting to feel ready. You might be hoping for a sign, but the only sign you need is already here, your desire to grow. That feeling inside that says, there's something more for me. And yes, it might take time. Yes, the road might be long, but the only way to cross the finish line is to move from the starting line. If you keep standing still, nothing changes. You'll stay where you are. You'll keep wondering, what if? But the moment you take that first action, no matter how small, the world shifts. You shift. Let me ask you something. Do you want to look back in 1 year and say, I'm so glad I started? Or do you want to say, I wish I had? The difference between those two futures is just one thing: beginning. Start writing the book, even if it's messy. Start speaking English, even if your grammar isn't perfect. Start exercising, even if you feel slow. Start saying what you truly feel, even if your voice shakes. Start, not to be amazing, not to impress, just to begin. Because once you begin, the path opens. Once you begin, your brain wakes up. Once you begin, your fear shrinks and your confidence grows. There's no magic shortcut. There's no secret system. There's only this: you and a decision. You can't finish the race you never run. You can't reach the top of the mountain you never climb. You can't change your life by thinking about it. You have to act. You have to start. You have to move. And every finish line you will ever reach starts with the same thing: a single, imperfect, brave beginning. So say it with your full heart. Nothing is possible until you begin. So now, my friend, you've heard it all. 10 reminders, 10 truths, 10 quiet voices inside you gently saying, it's time. No more waiting. No more overthinking. No more telling yourself, maybe someday. Because someday is not a date on the calendar. Someday is today, if you choose it to be. You don't have to be fearless. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to begin. And if this message touched your heart, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone you care about. Leave a comment. What will you begin today? And if you're ready to take the first step, subscribe. We'll walk this road together, one honest step at a time. Because remember, nothing is possible until you begin. But once you do, everything starts to move. So go. Start small, start scared, but start. I'm rooting for you, always.